A giant oil tanker, 460 feet of solid steel, slices through the dark waters of the Persian Gulf at 14 knots, heading directly toward the American blockade line like a silent steel monster. It has ignored every single warning. Channel 16 remains dead silent. It has not slowed, it has not turned, and with every passing minute, it gets dangerously closer. High above, alone in the cockpit, the pilot watches the scene unfold. His hands are steady, but the tension is electric. He has already burned through 2 of his 4 options. In the next 6 terrifying minutes, the fate of this mission, and possibly the entire blockade, will be decided. This is not a battle of who has more missiles. This is a brutal contest between physics, nerves, cold doctrine, and raw presence. And everything depends on one question. Why did the United States send this specific aircraft, of all the advanced jets in its arsenal, to hold the most dangerous maritime chokepoint on Earth? The Strait of Hormuz is now under full American blockade. Every Iranian port is locked down. The world is holding its breath. Oil markets are shaking. Tehran is furious. A-10 Super Hornets roar through the sky on combat patrols. P-8 Poseidon spy planes watch from the stratosphere. Warships below enforce the final legal decisions. But one mission required something completely different. They needed an aircraft that could fly dangerously low over choppy seas, stay there for hours, be impossible to ignore, and escalate force step by step without turning every incident into a sinking ship and an international crisis. That impossible job was given to a heavily armored 30,000-pound beast originally built in 1972 to slaughter Soviet tank columns on European battlefields, a plane that the US Air Force has desperately tried to retire for more than 10 years. Why this aircraft? Because this mission is not about hunting, it is about enforcing. Hunting means you go find the enemy and destroy it. Enforcing a blockade is the opposite. The goal is not destruction, it is prevention. The greatest success is when the enemy ship turns around before a single shot is fired. The aircraft must become a psychological weapon. It must be seen. It must be feared. It must project raw, undeniable presence that changes minds from miles away. And presence demands time. The Strait of Hormuz is only 21 nautical miles wide at its narrowest point. 20% of the planet's daily oil supply flows through this narrow artery. To truly control it, an aircraft cannot simply fly across it. It must own it. It must circle, watch, and wait for hours. At 300 knots, this aircraft can cross the strait in just 4 minutes. But true patrol means staying there, visible, armed, and unrelenting for 2.5 straight hours on station. That kind of endurance is pure gold in this mission. Other jets simply cannot match it. The A-10 burns through fuel too quickly and costs a fortune to keep flying. The P-8 is excellent at watching, but cannot engage. The MQ-9 is cheap, but too vulnerable. Only this aircraft can deliver the perfect deadly combination: long loiter time, low altitude visibility, heavy armor, and graduated response. The sea itself is the enemy's best ally. The Persian Gulf's rough waters create massive radar clutter. Iranian fast attack boats, built from fiberglass composites, are designed like ghosts, nearly invisible to radar. From high altitude, they disappear into the noise. That is why the pilot must descend dangerously low, below 3,000 feet, straight into the deadly envelope of Iranian shoulder-fired missiles. Every pass risks his life, but only at this altitude can the infrared targeting pod clearly see the glowing hot engines of small boats against the cold Black Sea. And this is where the legend of the aircraft shines. Over 1,200 pounds of titanium armor wrap around the cockpit like a medieval knight's shield. It can take direct hits from anti-aircraft missiles and keep flying when almost nothing else could. Now, back to the tanker. It is still coming, still silent, still defiant. The pilot has already shown himself. He has already broadcast the warnings. The third option is now unleashed. A laser-guided rocket screams off the wing and explodes violently in the water just 50 feet in front of the tanker's bow, sending a massive column of white water high into the sky. A final, unmistakable warning. The captain on that tanker now knows exactly what is above him and what comes next. If he continues, the fourth and final option begins. The 30mm rotary cannon locks onto the bridge, the exhaust stacks, the steering gear, everything that keeps this floating monster under control. Precision fire designed to disable, not necessarily to sink. But the situation suddenly becomes far more dangerous. As the aircraft drops low, 3 Iranian fast attack craft burst out from the coastal clutter like wolves. Small, lightning fast, racing at over 50 knots, almost invisible on radar. They are closing fast, and they are carrying manpads. Now the pilot faces 2 simultaneous threats at the same dangerous altitude. A massive tanker refusing to stop, and a swarm of agile suicide boats trying to shoot him down. This is the moment the mission was built for. Visible, patient, armored, lethal when necessary. This aircraft does not need to be the fastest. It does not need to be the stealthiest. It needs to be the one that stays, the one that refuses to leave until the job is done. And that is exactly why, when America needed to enforce the most critical blockade in the world, it reached for the same plane many wanted to retire. The A-10 Warthog was born to hold the line on land. In 2026, it is holding the line on water, at the most dangerous maritime chokepoint on Earth. Physics wrote the job description, and only one aircraft in the inventory could sign it. But time is running out for the Warthog. The retirement clock is ticking. Plans for its final withdrawal between 2027 and 2029 have already been submitted to Congress. The question is no longer whether the A-10 can do this mission. The physics has already answered that. The real question is darker. When the last Warthog finally touches down for the final time, who will take its place? Will there be another aircraft that can loiter for hours, descend into hell, survive being shot at, and still deliver measured, controlled force, all while staying affordable enough to fly around the clock? Or has the United States quietly lost the perfect tool for the dirty, difficult, gray zone missions of the future? Only time, and the next crisis, will tell.